can start the conversation. And first of all, thank you all of you for coming. I was a little skeptical about the timing and so many other things going on at the same time. Plus the fact that this is more or less the same sort of topic is being discussed in other forums in the community. So, incidentally, I'm the one guilty for suggesting this topic a few months ago, partly because that's what the whole nation is talking about for so long. And the conversation has become even more intensified in the country in the last few months. Especially last week or so, the report came on the incidence of poverty in the country and the massive inequalities in income and wealth. So all of that, I think, makes this topic very appropriate for this evening. And although I don't see our economic problems disappearing or even mitigating in the near future, so also I'm glad to see that our mayor, Nancy Kinney, has been sponsoring these forums also. Poverty, and then the League of Women Voters, they have also jumped on the bandwagon. So it's all fits together. When you say income distribution, wealth distribution, it ties in also with wealth and all kind of, poverty and all sort of other concerns. So obviously, wealth and income inequities have implications with respect to not just poverty, but also homelessness, and also lack of health insurance, and not only that, food insecurity. People not having enough food. And also there are statistics that tell us the poorer you are, the lesser is going to be your life expectancy. There are all sort of implications that follow from this particular conversation. There are also, for the topic this evening, wealth, income inequities, and human rights. Question often arises, this is a huge conversation, is do I have a human right to food? Do I have a human right to education? In this country especially, that becomes very, very difficult to talk about. Is that an inherent right as a human being, or I get what I deserve in life? So that's the other side of it. There are all sort of issues. In the economics profession, I know we've been talking about, for 30, 40 years in my classes, this has been one of the topics, always, especially in the context of third world countries. So, in any case, I will having set the stage, I will introduce the panelists. Each one of them personally know for decades, except this young man. I don't know him because he hasn't even lived a few decades. 23, 24?
I like that, yes, you keep saying that. He's not sure.
Anyway, I'll proceed in the order that these panelists are sitting here. Graham Hubbs, a relatively new assistant professor in the Department of Philosophy on this campus. And he has a PhD from the University of Pittsburgh in 2008. And then he taught at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill campus for a while, and then he led a service learning trip to Karagwe, Tanzania. Whatever the service learning trip, I want to know later on. So, and then next to him there's somebody, I forget his name, but it's a four-letter word. Nick Geyer, the Palouse pundit. And he need no introduction. He's one person. Let me put it simply this. He's about as prolific a scholar as any I have known. He's multidisciplinary, he's interdisciplinary, you name it. He writes, I don't know where he gets, I thought I had the energy, but he surpasses anybody else. And then you have Steve Peterson, who's been a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, and also originally a student of mine for many years, long ago. So he's a lifetime Idaho resident, born and raised in Lewiston, graduate of the University of Idaho, including a master's. He's a research economist and a lecturer in the College of Business and Economics for almost 2 decades. Now. And his research interests have been issues such as these, and local and regional economics. And B.J. Swanson, again, somebody I've known for at least 40 years now. B.J. Swanson is currently the interim executive director of Later Economic Development Council. Prior to that, she recently retired as vice president and commercial lender at the American West Bank in Moscow. Retired after 46 years in banking. And she and I met each other once in Troy at what used to be called the First Bank of Troy. Anybody remember? Yeah. And that's where I used to sometimes go, and Frank Rocky would give me a loan simply on my trust, on my good faith. I'll sign it, all right, I trust. And BJ also served as chair of the board of Richmond Medical Center and is a board member of the Idaho Hospital Association. She's a graduate of Pacific Coast Banking School at the University of Washington. She's a lifelong resident at Later County. So, welcome. Thank you.